A few years ago, I created a small blackjack game, the one that you see here. It was mostly an instructor demo when I was teaching a course in programming. And I wanted to show the students some of the things that you could do and some of the techniques for building an application. And it's a neat little program. I'll just go ahead and put in a $50 bet here, be real conservative, and deal. Okay, hit me. Total 15. Oh, dealer wins. Yeah, the house usually wins. I didn't design it that way, but that seems to be the way it works out. Let's try again. Stand, and I win, so I got my money back. So it's a small program. It's not real sophisticated. It doesn't have a lot of fancy graphics, but it does have some basic ones. In this series of videos, I want to show you some of the basic steps involved in working with some graphics and some of the basics of C#. This is especially for new programmers, people just getting into C#. We're not going to build an entire game, but I'll show you some of the basics. In this first video, we're going to focus on creating the new application and the initial form. This application that we create isn't really going to be specifically useful as a game or for anything else, but you'll get an idea of some of the first steps that are involved in creating an app, and we'll do some of the groundwork. So let's go ahead and create a new project, and it's going to be a Windows Forms app. Click Next, and I'm going to call this 52 Pickup, and I'm going to change the location. And then I'm going to click Next, and I'm going to go ahead and target the .NET 5 framework. And here we are at the opening form of the new application. We can take a look around briefly at the Visual Studio environment. You have the work area over here with our new blank form. Over here is the Solution Explorer showing the various components within the application. You got the form itself, you got the automatically written code behind the form, and also the form has various resources that you can store, string values and other items that you can reference within the form, but we're not going to be working on that for this project. So let's go back to the main form, and over here we have the program itself, and as you can see what it does, it starts out the program. You have the namespace 52 pickup. Code within a .NET project is stored within classes and namespaces to organize it, and down here it has just a few commands that set up the environment, and then it runs the application by opening up that new form. Let's try something real quick. I don't really like the name Form 1, so let me double click on that and come down here to the Properties panel, and I'm going to change the name of the form to Main. So that's changed the name of the form. The file name that you see here still stays as Form 1. We could rename that, but that has nothing to do with the actual name of the form. Let me go back to the form designer, and you can see that it's now changed the class to Main. And if we come back here to Program, you can see that it's updated that reference as well. So it's starting out with a new instance of the main form, which it knows is in form1.cs, the file. That means, of course, that you could create another form and designate that as a startup, but we'll stick with this one for now. And let's take a quick look at some of the properties of the form itself. We already changed the name, and as you scroll down here, you can see various properties are included. There's quite a few ways in which you can customize the form. You can customize the back color and select various colors as you like. You can assign a background image. You can keep the control box up here, or you can turn it off. You can change the look of the cursor. You can change the font and a lot of other properties, and it's a good idea to take some time and get familiar with those and explore what various properties do. You can change the size, and let me go ahead and manually change it here. Let's see what happens there. You can see that it updated it to 912 by 556, and you could change it here as well. Let's go ahead and change the text. Up here you see the text, that's the title of the form itself, and that does not have to be the same as the name that we used before. Let me go change that to 52 pickup, and you can see that it's changed it up here. So now you've seen the work area, the Solution Explorer, and let me go ahead and select Show All Files just so we're showing everything there. You've seen the Properties panel, and over here we have the Toolbox. And this is where you have all the controls and components that you can put on the form itself. You can see you have labels, you have buttons, checkboxes, various controls that you can use in a lot of different ways. The first one that I'm going to add is called an image list. Just going to drag this down here, and that puts it in the bottom tray because it's not a control that you actually display on the form. It's one that's used for reference. Now, other controls like the button, you could drop anywhere in the form. You could throw a checkbox on there. You could use text boxes, but the image list is a reference control. And in the next video, I'll be showing you more about how to work with that.